Hey yo guys, what's up and welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're getting our final review of Weight of the False Self by Hatebreed. So we spent the entire week listening to this album as we do when we do our reviews, and I gotta say that I love this album. It is Hatebreed at their finest. This band delivers quality music, in my opinion, over and over and over again. Some people might say it gets stale here and there. I don't think so. I just love the energy. I love the aggression. I love the messages of the songs. Very positive, very uplifting, very self-motivating. That kind of stuff makes you feel good listening to it. At the same time, you get that energy that you can just unleash because it's aggressive, it's mean. It's just like kind of a full package as far as the overall sound. So this album starts off with a great opener with Instinctive Slaughterlust. We liked this song when we first heard it in our reaction. I liked it when I first heard it on the album, and I liked it throughout the entire week listening to it. It's such an awesome song. Aggression, awesome riffs, cool breakdown, the bleh, which is only done once on the album, which is cool. I don't like when bands overdo things. Just one sweet one at the beginning and then you're good. But the album does have a little bit of dips, right? It's not perfect. Weight of the False Self is a song we talked about that we didn't really like it, and I will say that I still don't really like it. It maybe grew on me a little bit to the point where like I never skipped it, like I wasn't skipping it or annoyed with it, but I still never appealed to me in any way. And actually there's something about it that I'll get into that actually started annoying me, and I'm not sure why it annoyed me. I'll just get into that right now. It has to do with the gang vocals. So, gang vocals is kind of a staple of Hatebreed sound. And I don't mean like fucking like West Coast yada yada kind of gang vocals. I mean like, if you don't know, gang vocals are when the whole band is shouting out a phrase or a word together, right? So, in Weight of the False Self, the gang vocal is the words "it means." And the whole band shouting it, and to me it just sounds so lame. The whole band going, "It means, it means." Like, I don't know why I'm doing the guitar thing, I just do that all the time. It just sounds so lame. I don't know, I'm like, oh, that sounds so cheesy. But then you go to a song, next song, Cling to Life, probably my favorite song of the album for multiple reasons. Truth is, that to me sounds badass. Truth is, fucking love that. And you go down a little bit further, This I Earned. They do the name of the song, yeah. This I earned, like that to me, fucking cool. But it means, that sounds so lame to me. I don't know why. Is it just the words or is the way they're saying it in that song?
You know what? That is all, like, to talk about that title track, I still didn't really like it that much, but to go more in depth, I think what you just described is the main reason that song is not good. Because you consider, like, all the lyrics of this album and how clever they can be, and how fun they are to belt out, and you literally just described that. I think the fact that Weight of the False Self's lyrics are a little bit too straightforward and a little bit hokey. When you hear it, it's just like, okay, this sounds kind of lame. I feel like the lyrical content of the rest of the album is leaps and bounds stronger than this specific song.
Agreed.
So not only is there that, but I also think the ending of the song is kind of a mess, because it just suddenly goes to a breakdown and then it abruptly ends.
Yeah.
And although I can appreciate the fact that they tried something a little different by doing that, it wasn't really done very well. It's just, you hear the song and it's just so sudden, like, oh, this is a breakdown now. Oh, it's just over? Like, that's it?
Yeah. It feels like it was thrown together.
Yeah.
And not much thought was put into it. And then they didn't have any inkling to go back and kind of fix it, because it feels like a mistake.
Musically, there are some parts of the song that I actually didn't mind too much. It's not like the song would come on and I'd hate it.
Yeah, it's not unbearable.
Exactly. I think that's a good example as to like how strong the rest of this album is too, because I'd hear that song and it wouldn't drag me down, it wouldn't whatever, and then you have Cling to Life right after, which I'm gonna, guarantee you guys, I haven't heard your explanations for why the song is still one of your strongest, but I can guarantee you the guitar solo plays a part of it, because that solo is insane.
Yeah, it's not like insane in a way where like, oh my god, he's hitting so many notes. It's just fucking flavor of that solo.
Such a strong solo.
Hits the right spots. it could have been a little longer. If I had to gripe, I would say I just wanted it to be longer. It reminded me of a Kirk Hammett solo from like Ride the Lightning era, which again were longer solos. But if you listen to the solo in a song like Creeping Death, for example, you're hearing a lot of the same notes and similar patterns as he does in this solo for this song. Very similar. I got a very Kirk Hammett vibe from that. And like I mentioned in the first impressions, Hatebreed doesn't do guitar solos a lot. They're few and far between, but when they do them, they're pretty fucking good, I will say.
So were there any songs on the album that you didn't really pay much mind to or have much of an opinion on that grew on you throughout the week? Because I know a few of the tracks both of us kind of enjoyed but didn't really have much to say about. Was there anything that really started jumping out, or?
There's a few songs, and it's mainly due to probably the riffing of these songs, like A Stroke of Red. It's just a crushing riff in that song. It also has a little mini guitar solo part. I don't know if you
love that.
Solo,
I love that little bit
just like
before the next verse, after the first chorus. That's so sick. That song became one of my absolute favorite songs. Like especially, and it's a perfect example of lyrical content. You're screaming, "There's no harm done until the harm is done to me."
Yeah.
And you hear Jamie screaming that. You want to scream it yourself. You hear, harm done in the gang vocals. Perfect example of good lyric writing from this band.
Exactly.
That song's sick. I love that song.
Exactly. And there's other songs that kind of follow suit with that too, like This I Earned. From Gold to Gray is a song that started to grow on me. I liked it at the beginning, but it grew on me because the second half of that song feels a lot different than the first half. The second half of that song actually feels, to me, like a Slayer song. Like something more modern Slayer, like something off maybe World Painted Blood or something like that. I get vibes of like kind of more modern Slayer, which to me is a good thing. I like the fact that they don't really change the sound, but they have a diversity there, right? Where it doesn't sound all like this, whatever. It changes it up, gives it some freshness. If you want to know what another song that's probably like, Cling to Life is probably tied for my top song with Wings of the Vulture. Because Wings of the Vulture has probably one of the best riffs I've heard all year. Like if I'm like comparing to all the albums I've listened to this year, the riff in that song just gets me a different way, man. Again, nothing super technical, but it's not about technicality with this band. It's about creativity and just style. It's style points. Pure style points, because I fucking love that riff. It's so sick.
Yeah, that song was one of my absolute favorites when I first heard the album, and it still is. Like the three songs that really stood out to me the most last week, which were the first track, Dig Your Way Out, and Wings of the Vulture, stayed super strong. I love all those, all three of those songs, and still do throughout the whole week. But among those, a few other songs kind of started to join them in. Wow, these are great. And that includes A Stroke of Red, Let Them All Rot, and Invoking Dominance.
Let Them All Rot, yeah. Invoking Dominance, actually, that's a good song. It's kind of a sleeper. It was one of those songs where, like, throughout the week, it was kind of like, it would play, and I'd be like, okay, whatever. It would play, I'm okay, whatever.
But then you focus on it, and you realize, wow, this is sick.
Yeah.
The riffs are sick.
Yeah, and then it kind of just ends, and then all of a sudden Instinctive Slaughterlust starts again, and you're like, okay, it's starting again, and I'm okay with that. Here we go.
I had the same feeling when they would go on loop. I'd just be like, all right, just round two. And you know what? That's another thing about this album that I think is really strong. This album is extremely short, about like 34 minutes.
Yeah.
So for an album to be that short and you have it on loop over and over and over and you don't get tired of it, that means it's a very strong album.
I agree.
Because then you're going to be hearing, the same tracks a lot more often than if it was a longer album because it's just shorter.
It's true. And with that said, I think we'll get to ratings. So I will go first. I'm going to give Way to the False Self my toe tag. I don't think I need to really explain much more about it. It's super strong. The only song I don't like is the title track. But like I said, it's not unbearable. It still kind of fits in with the rest of the album. I just think it's kind of poorly constructed. But that's one minor flaw. The entire album is pretty damn strong with a lot of little trinkets sprinkled throughout that you can look for, and can pull different things about the vocals, the bass, the drums, all kinds of things. They shine. It's a really good album. I love it.
You really took the words right out of my mouth. It gets a toe tag from me as well. Super duper strong album. I thought this was a great album, and it was super fun to listen to throughout the entire week. Awesome stuff.
Yep, so well-deserved two toe tags for this album. You guys should be checking it out if you haven't already. Let us know down below in the comments if you guys liked it as much as we did. We're always curious to hear your thoughts. Be sure you guys are coming back each and every day to vote in the Best Metal Bands in the World tournament. But that's it from us for now. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
We'll see you guys on the next video.